it looks like we're fluent, almost meeting goals in every grade level, but our comprehension is every. Is this a remnant of something that they tried 6, 8, 12 years ago that's running through the system, or is this, I mean, are we, as a school district, normal that way? I mean, are other districts like this, or are we, you know?
I would stake my reputation, which isn't very good anyway, but anyway, in regards to if you were to take this and give it to other area schools, you would see pretty much a line be almost similar, just the comprehension piece that's out there. Yeah, I don't think East Sac County is any different. The good thing is we've got strategies that you're seeing all the way from the elementary to the middle school that's going to help these struggling readers. You know, that's the exciting piece of it. It goes back to what Dave said, starting early and knowing what they're doing is a big piece of the puzzle.
On our ITEDs and ITBS, just across the board, 3rd grade through 11th grade, about right in the 75 to 85% of our kids meet the benchmark for reading comprehension. So the passages at the high school level are content passages, so they're from science, content, and social studies. And I'm not making excuses for them, but they're like their U.S. history book, a world geography book at a junior, senior level. They're like biology, chemistry passages. So they're pretty taxing passages, but what we want to know is, can kids do that kind of work? So we have quite a lot of low-achieving kids in our junior class.
What grade do we start these in?
2nd grade through 11th grade. And BRI, 1st graders take them in the spring, and they can really, when they can read.
Yeah. You know, they can actually read a passage that, yeah.
Yeah. One of the good things that we're doing now is we're intervening on those kids early that are struggling. I know we're doing a lot. But I guess my question, and that kind of goes back to Brent's question, is I would almost bet that we didn't have programs like that back when these kids were in elementary school to identify those early and get some intervention for them.
I know at least in the last 5 years in both schools, intense intervention for struggling kids. We had Title I in both schools, and I don't call special education intervention. That's a program of itself for kids who have different sorts of needs, but the kind of intervention we do is far more intense than Title I, and it's very data-driven. In other words, we look at those kids every other week, collaboratively to talk about how those kids are doing, and if they're in Scott's room, is he doing exactly what we had asked him to do with those kids? Because, you know, our group of 3 kids needed, they don't understand how to use vowels. And I'm still doing vowel intervention with them. And he says, oh no, I decided to do X. And we're like, wait a second, that's not what the kid needs. The kid needs X. And so we pay a lot more attention to that, but we're seeing results. There were about 47 kids in this building in intervention, in and out of intervention. Okay, some kids stayed all year, for instance, and about half of them were in and out of intervention, and all but 3 kids made what we called significant gain. And those 3 made gain, it just wasn't significant. It didn't put them closer to their peers. We talk about rate of gain for our readers. If the class is growing like this, and these low kids have to have a trajectory that's deeper than that, because if not, they're gaining, but they're only gaining like this. The gap, you know, we just keep increasing that gap. So these little guys, well, or big guys, you know, it's got to be more rapid, because we got to see those 2 lines cross or meet each other sometime. So, and we keep pay lots of attention to that. So.
9 years ago, when these 11th graders were 2nd graders, any idea on what we did with those kids that were struggling?
I don't know. I would tell you that the 11th graders from Walleye Few Auburn were the group of kids when they were in 4th grade that qualified Walleye Few Auburn for the Reading First Grant. Low achieving, high poverty. And so half of that class is those kids. You know, I'm not saying all the struggling readers are Walleye Few Auburn, but I know that group of kids. I don't know, Doug. I can't tell you about 9 years ago. I really can only tell you about 6 or 7 years ago, and that's just with that particular group of kids to tell you what's going on with them. But that was the group of kids. And they were a group of kids at Walleye Few Auburn that ITBS marched along like this, and then there was that grade, and marched like this. We're like, all good, they chose that year. But you know, the good part of that was that meant a lot of money to the district to pour into reading instruction. And really, we're replicating a lot of that in this building, and it's working. We know that it works. And our teachers were very, very happy in this building this year that they saw that gain. I mean, we have a lot of support for what we're doing. It's turned around in a year for us, but they see the change happen for kids.